to dedicate this to a friend of mine. I talk about in my essay my childhood, and a childhood friend of mine recently was killed. And we went down separate roads, but the memories I have, you know, were good memories. And to Jerome Harris. And also, on a lighter note, to lighten it up a little bit, the most beautiful women in the room. No offense to the other amazingly beautiful women, but my girlfriend and my little daughter. This is the first time they got out to see me, so I'm happy about that. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. Enough of that. My essay. I think that's too high. I'm not done. All right. I sat in my bathroom thinking. No need to be explicit about details. I have tact, and readers, listeners have imagination. We've all been there, right? What a great place for thinking. Many of mankind's greatest achievements, finest literature, inventive creations, mathematical solutions, were probably conceived in the same posture and place. I had no grand ideas, though. My thoughts were on expectations and limitations. I thought about the expected trajectory of a scrawny kid that grew up in Detroit during the crack epidemic from a broken home, who slept in one bedroom in his grandmother's house with his mom and sister on the same mattress, and whose only privacy was the second drawer from the bottom of a 5-drawer dresser. The facts. That boy collected way too many comic books to be the popular kid at school. He outgrew his coordination by growing awkwardly too tall too soon. He was my height at like 10. And was phobia afraid of spiders, horror movies, and cute girls. Where does that arrow fall? I'm sitting in the bathroom pondering. Let's keep it classy. I said I'm sitting. Sitting. That's with the S-I, no H in it. What gave that kid hope? What grabbed him by the shoulders and shook the fear out of his paralyzed body and told him to try? He would be paralyzed with fear of small things, like his old man coming over. Dad was not a large man like he was at 10, but Dad was always upset at something and had a mouth that was 10 feet tall. He would come into the home and all the playing and fun would suck out of the house and mix with weed smoke from a joint pinched between his fingers and be blown out and whisked around the room. He was a bully. That kid hated bullies too. He would play basketball at the community center. The community center was a breeding ground for bullies and drug dealers, which made me laugh from my seat in the bathroom because I always thought of community centers as a place, you know, where students go after school to stay away from drugs and crime. But for this kid, the community center was a place where drug dealers and crime originated. It was the hangout. But still, he'll go there and run long and lanky up and down the court trying as best he could. One day playing at home, his grandmother went to the basement for the wash. He was playing G.I. Joe upstairs. He was playing alone, so he was the best character. Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was a ninja, stealth and silent. He scaled the banister and the wall to get to the basement without touching the squeaking stairs. He hid behind boxes and basement crap until he was standing in front of his grandmother's back, pulling wet clothes out of the washer. Snake Eyes broke his vow of silence. Boo! Scared the hell out of his grandmother. And while she chased him, he had an epiphany that he didn't have to be himself all the time. If a clumsy, uncoordinated kid could sneak up and scare his grandmother as Snake Eyes, he could be someone else for other things. He could be someone else who was better than him. He could be someone else who was better than everybody else. His first experiment was basketball. Every kid playing basketball wanted to be Michael Jordan. It was an excuse to dribble too much. However, it was an admiration. It was a loose veneer of Michael Jordan. The kid's experiment wasn't to wear a costume or a veneer, but to consciously embody the player he chose, to leave himself on the sidelines. The player he chose was Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley knew no fear. The kid was afraid to get mixed in the middle of elbows and fists to grab a rebound, but not Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley caused fear. Charles Barkley could be crowded by 5 players grabbing, poking, clawing, gnashing teeth full of basketball and throw them all off with bodies flying in every direction. And 10-year-old bodies flew. They flew. And Charles Barkley was one of the best players at the community center in the 12 and under age group. The experiments extended to school. The kid was not a scholar student in high school, D's and C's. I mean in junior high, D's and C's. But the word was that junior high didn't matter. No one really cared. High school was where the grades really counted. It was the permanent record that would determine what college, what careers, what choices he would have later in life. His only reference to academic excellence was his sister, who was 5 years older and had been salutatorian. He noticed the way she studied, but balanced a personal relationship with the teachers. He studied, charmed the teachers, and excelled. Some teachers wouldn't give him a low grade even if deserved because of a positive relationship and his expressed goals. Pretty soon it wasn't an experiment anymore. It was his modus of operandi. His first sexual experience. He was Captain Kirk. Not because Captain Kirk's success with various female species, but because Captain Kirk was venturing into the unknown with curiosity and fascination. His enterprise was exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new life, boldly going where it hadn't gone before, with a smooth, debonair demeanor. In college, he was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Dwayne Wayne from a different world, fun, down to earth, but studious. When he was working 3 jobs to buy DJ equipment because he liked money in his pocket. He was a Viking warrior with a battle axe for some odd reason. He thought Viking warriors with battle axes would never complain about working too hard. Then the kid was killed. He was shot in the head by a man who assumed he had fulfilled his usefulness. The man was not paralyzed by fear like the kid, and the man got along okay. However, the man was not as imaginative. He didn't have the same audacity of hope, creativity, vision, individuality. The man meshed with the grays and beige of adulthood, cubicles, telephones, neckties, stainless steel appliances, Ford Tauruses, $5 Ventis, antidepressant medications, so on and so forth. He was given a purpose as a bank manager, a salesman, an operations manager. And he performed those duties well as could be expected, until the economy hit the reset button and he found himself unemployed, sitting on a toilet bowl in a small bathroom, holding an old magazine because it was the first one he saw to grab, and staring at the paragraphs and pictures until they were a blurry mess of colorful inks because he was thinking. He was thinking. I was sitting in my bathroom thinking about the expected trajectory of a scrawny kid who wielded the power of the universe in his mind and spit in the face of fear because he was Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley was fearless. And Charles Barkley was not PC. And Charles Barkley could even dunk on Chuck Norris. That kid's imagination was limitless and spanned multiple universes: Marvel, DC, Image, Valiant, Dark Horse, TV Land, books and movies. Where would that arrow have failed? That kid would have been Gordon Gekko as a banker, or Zig Ziglar as a salesperson, or United States Deputy Marshal Samuel Gerard as an operations manager. That's the guy Tommy Lee played in The Fugitive, who knew where everything was going on, and master delegator. If that kid were interviewing for jobs, he would be Don Draper, confident, competent, exuding stylish professionalism. Whatever he decided to do, he'll be Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate, John Milton, innocuous, the hand up Mona Lisa's skirt. A total surprise, they'll never see him coming. When that kid wrote, he'd be prolific and inventive like Elmore Leonard, Walter Mosley, or Philip Roth. If life presented problems or mysteries, he would be Archimedes, Rodin's thinker, or follow the tenets of those little cloth bracelets that were popular in the 90s that read WWJD. On my seat in the bathroom, I knew what I had to do. Rodensvinker rose. The blood rushed into his numb thighs and his tingling toes. And he opened the bathroom door to fresher air. Thank you.